Is intimacy something we're supposed to leave behind as we age, like old photographs or high school memories? But what if letting go of it silently steals your health, your joy, and even your longevity? When we talk about aging, we often focus on medications, doctor visits, and health checkups. But one of the most natural, free, and profoundly healing treatments often gets overlooked: physical intimacy and sex. Take a moment to ask yourself, when was the last time you felt a warm hug, a loving touch, or a night of closeness that made your heart race just a little? Don't be too quick to think that these experiences are only for the young. In fact, studies show that seniors who maintain a healthy sex life tend to have stronger hearts, fewer signs of depression, better sleep, and deeper emotional bonds with their partners. This topic is often left unspoken, especially among older adults. But that's exactly why we're here, to challenge that silence and remind you that you are still worthy of love, connection, and joy, whether you're 60, 70, or beyond. In today's video, we'll explore 10 powerful reasons why sex and intimacy aren't just nice to have. They are essential to your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. If you've ever thought aging means closing the chapter on intimacy, stay with us. If you felt a growing distance in your relationship, this video may offer the first step toward rebuilding that connection. We'd love to hear from you. Which part of today's message speaks to you most? Type 1 if you believe more people should hear about this, or type 0 if you'd like us to explore a specific issue more deeply next time. Part 1. Decreased cardiovascular health. When touch fades, the heart ages faster than you think. They say the heart has no age. But the truth is, the heart is deeply sensitive to loneliness, especially the kind that comes from lost intimacy. Have you noticed it lately? Waking up feeling slower, your heart racing after a simple climb, or needing more rest than usual for minor tasks? You might dismiss it as just part of getting older. But there's another reason, subtle yet powerful, that no one talks about enough: the absence of physical closeness and sexual connection. Sex isn't just about pleasure. For older adults, it's a gentle but effective form of cardiovascular exercise. During intimate moments, heart rate increases like it would during a brisk walk. Blood vessels expand. Circulation improves. Blood pressure naturally lowers. No pills required. But when those moments grow fewer, when hugs become rare and hands no longer meet at bedtime, the heart quietly loses one of its healthiest forms of movement. Over time, arteries stiffen, circulation slows, the risk of hypertension, heart disease, and even stroke rises, often without warning. Yes, you can eat well, take your medications, and go for walks. All great habits. But don't forget, affection and intimacy are also vital heart care rituals, especially as you age. A soft kiss, a warm embrace, or even a few minutes of gentle closeness can be the body's way of saying, I'm still here, I still love, I still beat for someone. Don't let that heartbeat go unnoticed. Let physical intimacy be part of your whole body wellness, not just for pleasure, but for your heart that's still quietly fighting to stay strong, connected, and alive. Part 2. Decreased cardiovascular health. When intimacy stops, the body begins to freeze. When we think about staying physically strong as we age, we picture morning stretches, park strolls, maybe even senior-friendly yoga. But there's a form of movement we rarely speak about, one that doesn't show up on your calendar. It's physical intimacy. Surprisingly, even light, affectionate sexual activity can help maintain muscle tone, joint flexibility, and balance. Every gentle motion, every loving touch, every moment of closeness activates multiple muscle groups: the back, the thighs, the arms, all in a safe, natural way. But when touch disappears, the body starts to go still. Muscles quietly weaken. Joints grow stiffer. Even basic movements feel harder than before. Slowly, mobility declines. Fear of falling sets in. Activity decreases. And just like that, your body begins to forget how to move. This decline doesn't announce itself. It creeps in slowly, day by day, step by cautious step. And few realize that the lack of physical connection is one of the most overlooked contributors to physical decline in older adults. There's more. Confidence in your body is deeply tied to feeling desired, touched, and physically capable. When someone embraces you, sees you, wants to connect with you, your body responds. You stand taller, you walk steadier, you feel lighter. Sexuality in older age isn't about performance. It's about presence. It's about reconnecting with the body, not just as a vessel, but as something still worthy of love, still full of ability, still alive. Let every gentle touch be a reminder. I still feel. I still move. I still matter. Part 3. Brain dysfunction. When touch fades, so does your mind. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or started telling a story, only to draw a complete blank? These little moments might leave you wondering, is my memory slipping? Here's the truth. The brain, like any muscle, needs stimulation to stay sharp. But mental exercise isn't always about crossword puzzles or memory games. Sometimes the best workout for your brain is physical intimacy, the kind we often stop talking about as we age. When your body is touched, through a hug, a kiss, or deeper moments of closeness, your brain releases powerful hormones like dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These aren't just feel-good chemicals. They boost memory, improve focus, reduce anxiety, and protect your brain from premature aging. But when intimacy disappears, your brain loses one of its most natural sources of stimulation. Over time, forgetfulness creeps in. You may feel less focused, more emotionally flat, or quietly anxious. Even mild depression can take root. All of this without realizing that the missing piece might be something as simple and powerful as touch. Intimacy, especially in later years, isn't just about sex. It's about feeling connected, seen, and valued. And that sense of emotional presence is one of the brain's strongest defenses against cognitive decline. You don't need a perfect sex life. You just need presence. Honest affection, gentle closeness, and meaningful connection. That's enough to awaken parts of the mind that long to feel alive again. Memory lives in emotion, in connection, in the warmth of a touch that says, I still see you, I still care, you still matter. Part 3. Weakened emotional connection. When touch disappears, so does the feeling of being loved. There's a quiet kind of sadness that no one talks about. You can live with someone for decades, share meals, share a bed, and still feel completely alone. The deepest distance in any relationship isn't physical, it's emotional disconnection. When hugs fade, when loving glances stop, when lying side by side becomes routine, affection begins to quietly disappear, like colors fading from an old photograph. For younger couples, sex might be about passion, but for older adults, it's a language of love, of trust, of still choosing each other every day. A touch becomes a whisper that says, I still see you, I still want you, I still choose us. When physical closeness fades, even the strongest relationships can begin to feel flat. Conversations grow dull, affection becomes rare. You may sleep in the same bed, but feel worlds apart. Many seniors feel this loss, but say nothing. Society has long told them, you're too old for that now. But that lie has stolen joy from countless hearts. Hearts that still ache to be held, still long to feel seen, still deserve closeness. Intimacy in later life isn't about sex alone. It's about connection, that invisible thread that ties the present to the beautiful beginnings. And as we age, that thread becomes more precious than ever. You are never too old to be loved, to be touched, to feel like you still matter in someone's eyes. Part 5. Difficulty sleeping. Insomnia. When nights lack touch, sleep slips away. Have you ever found yourself tossing and turning in the middle of the night, unable to find rest no matter how tired you are? If so, you're not alone. Many older adults struggle with sleep. But what few realize is that the absence of physical intimacy may be part of the reason. After moments of closeness, the body releases prolactin, a hormone that induces deep relaxation. At the same time, oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone, floods the system, easing tension and reducing anxiety. Together, they create the perfect recipe for falling asleep gently and staying asleep longer. But when intimacy fades, so do these natural calming signals. The result? Long nights, restless tossing, shallow sleep, and mornings that begin with fatigue, even if you've been in bed for hours. Sleep aids can offer temporary relief, but what your body may truly be craving is simpler. A warm hug before bed, a loving touch, or a few quiet moments of closeness that tell your nervous system, you're safe now. Let go. Modern science confirms that intimacy doesn't just help you sleep. It also boosts memory, lowers blood pressure, calms the nervous system, and strengthens the immune system. In other words, a good night's sleep often begins with a moment of love. Sleep isn't just the end of your day, it's the beginning of your wellness tomorrow. So don't let the night pass without remembering, intimacy is your body's lullaby, no matter how old you are. Part 5. Self-esteem, self-worth. When you're no longer touched, you start forgetting who you are. There's a quiet ache when you pass a mirror and no longer recognize the spark that once danced in your eyes. When the nice outfit hangs untouched. When the smile in old photos seems brighter than the one you wear today. Aging doesn't steal beauty, but feeling unwanted can make us forget it ever existed. As we grow older, changes in our bodies, routines, and energy are expected. But what hurts the most isn't the wrinkles or gray hairs. It's the silent sense that we are no longer desired, no longer seen as someone worth reaching for. When physical intimacy fades, when the hugs stop, the compliments vanish, the hand-holding disappears, self-confidence starts to fade from within. You may still live with energy, still laugh, still love life, yet a small voice inside begins to whisper, I don't shine the way I used to. But here's the truth. Intimacy at any age is not about the act itself. It's about being reminded that you are still beautiful, still worthy, still lovable. When that affirmation goes missing, many withdraw. Some avoid mirrors, some even avoid themselves. And the saddest part? It's not because you're too old. It's because somewhere along the way, we stopped allowing ourselves to feel connected. A glance full of love, a gentle touch on the arm, a kind word from your partner. These small things carry big power, enough to remind you that you are still radiant, still alive, still deeply you. No one is ever too old to be loved, but far too many forget they still deserve it. Part 7. Immunodeficiency. Do you find yourself getting sick more often, feeling run down, taking longer to recover from even mild illnesses? You might chalk it up to age, but what if one of the biggest reasons your immune system is weakening is the loss of physical intimacy? Most people don't realize that sexual intimacy, and even gentle physical closeness, can significantly boost your immune system. During moments of affection, the body produces key immune boosters, especially immunoglobulin A, IgA, a powerful antibody that helps fight off viruses, bacteria, and infections. Surprising, isn't it? Something as simple as a warm hug, a shared touch, or an intimate moment can actually strengthen your body's defenses, reduce inflammation, balance hormones, and support overall well-being. But when intimacy disappears from daily life, the immune system quietly weakens. Antibody levels drop. The body becomes slower to react to pathogens. You catch colds more easily and they linger longer. Fatigue becomes familiar, not dramatic but constant. Love isn't just an emotion, it's a biological nutrient, nourishing your mind, your hormones, and yes, even your immune cells. You don't need grand gestures, a loving hug, a kind glance, holding hands during a quiet evening. They're enough to tell your body, I'm cared for, I'm safe, I'm strong enough for another day. Part 8. Increased anxiety and stress. Without touch, the pressure builds in silence. Stress doesn't always come from the big things. Often it creeps in when the small comforts start disappearing. The morning hug, a loving glance across the dinner table, the quiet reassurance of being wanted. When we're younger, we relieve stress by staying busy, jogging, working, socializing. But as we age, life slows down. The distractions fade, and the pressure starts to quietly build, drop by drop, like rain in a glass already full. What most don't realize is that sexual and physical intimacy are among the body's most powerful natural stress relievers. During intimate moments, the brain releases serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin, a trio of feel-good hormones that calm the nervous system and soothe emotional tension. But when touch fades away, the body loses its most instinctive way to self-soothe. Anxiety builds, sleep becomes shallow, small worries feel heavier. You may find yourself snapping easily, feeling restless, or just tired. Not physically tired, emotionally drained. You may not call it loneliness, but that's what it is. The quiet feeling that you're carrying it all alone, and there's no one left to lean on. Gentle intimacy, even the simplest form, is like a pressure valve. It doesn't just reconnect you with someone else. It reconnects you with your own sense of safety. It whispers, "You're not alone. You can let go now." A well-timed hug won't fix everything, but it can remind you that you don't have to hold it all in by yourself anymore. Part 9. The relationship becomes fragile. Still together, but growing apart. When love becomes just a routine. Some relationships look strong on the outside. Two people still under the same roof, still sharing meals, still calling each other by familiar names. But deep inside, a quiet distance grows. Not in words, but in the silence between them. No one says it out loud, but both feel it. The spark in the eyes when entering a room? Gone. The hand that used to reach for the other under the table? Still. The closeness at night? Now replaced by routine and silence. When physical intimacy fades, a relationship doesn't break. It drifts, slowly, quietly. Among doctor visits, family calls, and daily tasks, two lovers gradually become polite roommates, kind, cooperative, but distant. Sex isn't the only measure of love, but it's a powerful thread that binds desire, choice, and presence. It says, "I still see you. I still choose you. I still want us, today and tomorrow." When that thread breaks, even strong emotions start to dull. Conversations shrink. Feelings get buried. Small annoyances grow larger. Not because they matter more, but because everything else has stopped touching the heart. And the saddest part? Both partners may miss what they once had, but don't know how to begin again. The good news is, it doesn't take grand gestures. A simple question, a spontaneous hug, a gentle hand on the arm. These small acts can reawaken the connection. Not as it was, but perhaps even deeper than before. You don't lose each other to time. You just need to turn toward one another. Fully, honestly, once again. Part 10. The body forgets how to function sexually. When touch stops, the body starts to forget how to love. There's a quiet rule in biology. What we don't use, we slowly lose. Just like muscles weaken without movement, sexual function, for both men and women, begins to fade without intimacy. But unlike sore arms or stiff legs, these changes happen silently. You don't notice them until it feels too late. For men, this may mean weaker erections or longer recovery times. For women, it may show up as dryness, discomfort, and a loss of natural elasticity. Slowly, intimacy becomes awkward, then painful, then avoided altogether. And avoidance becomes a cycle. The less we engage, the more the body forgets how to respond. And when it stops responding, we stop wanting. But here's the good news. The body never truly forgets. It just waits for you to invite it back to life. It begins with small, simple moments. A morning hug, a warm handhold during a walk, a gentle kiss without reason. These tiny gestures send powerful messages to your nerves, your blood flow, your hormones, your heart. Wake up, I still care, I still feel. You don't need passion like you were 25. You need presence, permission, and a little courage to start again. Your body doesn't need youth to love. It only needs permission and a gentle chance to remember. Life lesson to take away, English version. There's something many older adults don't say out loud. They still long to be touched, to feel loved, to know they matter. but age, society, and physical changes often make them retreat, quietly accepting intimacy silence as a normal part of growing older. But aging doesn't mean the end of love. It's the chance to love more deeply, more honestly, more meaningfully than ever before. What we've uncovered, from heart health and sleep to memory and immunity, makes one thing clear. Intimacy and sex aren't just emotional luxuries. They're essential parts of health and well-being. Rekindling closeness doesn't require grand gestures. A look, a hug, a heartfelt conversation. These small acts can awaken your heart, your body, and your spirit, reminding you that you are still alive, still loved, still worthy. If you're feeling distant in your relationship, if your energy is low or your confidence slipping, maybe what you need isn't more medication. Maybe it's more connection, a gentle touch, a warm embrace, a reminder that you matter. Start today, start small, be honest. It doesn't have to be perfect, just real. If this message resonates with you, leave a comment below and share one thing you'd like to rekindle in your relationship. Like this video if you found it valuable, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss more content designed to inspire and empower your golden years.